Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
All right. Hi, everybody. It's Sunday, February 28th. I'm not sure how stable this connection is going to be. Just so you know, I got a new router from Xfinity, which is a whole other story. But I keep getting this message up here: connection is unstable, which is really annoying because it used to be fine. I ordered some Cat 6 cable. So I'm just going to do a wired connection, but it'll be a few days before it comes in. So hopefully we won't have any issues. I'm looking at it right now. Jack says SpaceX is launching, so I won't keep you guys too long. There are a few things that I do want to show you, though. Let's start with the ridiculousness that is our administration currently. Biden is a piece of shit. Let's just get that right there. I find it hilarious that the same guy who can't make his way through a speech without saying, "What am I doing?" Is running this country. It's absolutely mind-blowing. But I want to talk about Indiana State Prison and what happened there. Anyone who watched my last video, I think it was the last one, Lieutenant Lasco lost his life, and there's an officer in the hospital. There's an update to that. Let me show you what I mean. Here it is. They actually had 2 officers that were fired. I'm gonna touch on that in a minute. Let me show you here. Like I said, I hope there it is. I hope my connection remains stable, but here we go. 2 Indiana State Prison employees fired for failing to act during fatal stabbing of corrections officer. There's a lot of comments here. I got the story right here. 2 corrections officers at the Indiana State Prison in Michigan City were fired for failing to act during a confrontation in which an inmate fatally stabbed a corrections lieutenant and seriously injured another officer, state officials confirmed Friday. Sergeant Patrick Schmidt, 22, was in a common area of the prison Sunday when he was stabbed by inmate Dimitri Campbell, 38, who's serving a 130-year sentence for a 2002 triple murder. Lasco went to help Schmidt, and Campbell stabbed him too, officials said. Lasco was taken to a Michigan City hospital where he was pronounced dead. Schmidt was listed in stable condition after being transferred to a South Bend hospital, authorities said. Here's right here. 2 other officers were fired for nonfeasance, failing to act when action is required by law, according to the Indiana State Personnel Department. However, it remains unclear what required duties prison officials said they failed to perform. Officer Perry Baldridge was fired on Tuesday, while Officer Kendrick Anderson was relieved of his duties on Thursday, state officials said. The suspect, Campbell, faces several charges in connection with the stabbing, including murder, state police said. Look, I worked at ISP, and I worked with some people that were real pieces of crap. You didn't know whether you wanted to spend any time with them. They were assholes. Whatever. But I knew that if something went down, I would help them. It didn't matter how I felt about them personally. It didn't matter how they felt about me personally. You come to the aid of another officer. Now, one of 2 things is going on here. Either the administration is covering their ass because it's happened before, and these officers were not in the wrong. I don't know if that's the case. I have no way of knowing that, but I've seen it before. During the escape in, oh man, when was that? There was an officer that they hung out to dry who did nothing wrong, Officer Waldo. So the administration has done this kind of thing before. Now, if these officers did not help and were in a position to do so, then absolutely they should be fired. Absolutely. Because to allow someone to be murdered and to stand there with your thumb up your ass and not do anything about it is unforgivable, because it's a dangerous job. You know that when you go there. You know, the wife and I were just talking about this before I went live, because I was talking about this story. And she said, you know, you don't really know what you're going to do when presented with that situation. You know, if you're going to freeze or whatever. There was I'm not going to get too much into detail, but there was an incident at the prison in IDU when I worked there. And I'm not going to pretend that I was perfect, because I made a couple of mistakes. But there was an officer that was assaulted, and I came to their aid immediately. I opened the door, I went in, I helped him. We were able to get the offender locked down. I made a couple of tactical errors. I left the door open on accident when you were supposed to close it, but that's not where my focus was. My focus was on helping that officer. So I know I don't freeze. But I see what she's saying. But the problem is, in a situation like that, when you take a job like that, you have to understand that you're going to be called on to do things that you won't be called on to do on the street. You got to be a certain kind of person to work there. And I don't know if they were still in training. I doubt it. I think they were probably past training. But you learn very quickly whether it's something you want to be doing or not, whether it is the job for you. There's a few things that I want to show you in other subjects, but my heart goes out to Lieutenant Lasco's family and the family of Sergeant Schmidt, because he's still in the hospital. He had his funeral and he had full honors. But if these two officers stood there like cowards while he was killed, not good, not good. Let me show you just a heads up. The residents of John Street in LaPorte just found out that every vehicle that was parked on John last night had at least one tire slashed. We're asking those who have security cameras that face John Street to look at the footage from last night to see if you can identify the culprit, and if so, kindly reach out to the police. This is in LaPorte. Wife said Schmidt is now out of the hospital, so that's good. That's good. I hope he's doing okay. Look, there are some rumors going around. People that worked at the prison that have some things to say about Schmidt. I don't know anything about that. I'm not going to speak to that. It's a horrible, horrible situation, and I hope that he recovers. So they had a whole bunch of tires that were slashed on John Street. Apparently, it wasn't just John Street. It was Division, Ohio, and Tecumseh, too, in LaPorte. This is actually pretty cool. There's some stuff that the mayor of LaPorte, Tom Dermody, has done that I disagree with. But one thing that I will say, this is pretty awesome. I don't know if this is himself, but it does say, he posted, "For those involved in the tire vandalism, we will offer you replacement tires at our cost at Cannons, 710 Tyler Street, or Condon and Christ Automotive, 909 Boyd Boulevard. Just let us know you were a victim of the vandalism. We will help out, providing you the tires at our cost." And it says, "Sir, I'm an MC resident, and my wife and I just watched your video on the tire vandalism. We have a set of 4 tires, size 215 55 R16s, and a set of 4 Goodyear 245 50 R20s that we would like to donate to any one of the victims if it will help during these trying times." That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like I said, I don't know if it was him that was offering them or if he was simply posting a message from someone else, but that's absolutely awesome. Good for him. Check this out. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but listen to this. The Biden pick for AG, BLM attacks in Portland, not domestic terrorism, because they were at night. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that right. It can't be domestic terrorism if it's at night. And I know it's a little more nuanced than that, because nobody was in there at the time. So it's okay to destroy the federal courthouse when no one's in it. It's not domestic terrorism. Then only during the day. What? It's absolutely amazing the mental gymnastics these people can do to justify the stupidity that comes out of their mouth. It's mind-blowing. How the fuck do these people think reality works? Because it's beyond me. Tom said he's a joke. Thank God he didn't end up on the Supreme Court. I wholeheartedly agree. Let's see. We talked about that. Here's a history lesson for you. So here we go. It's a good post from Jim Lucas. Operation Education. 72 killed resisting gun confiscation in Massachusetts. National Guard units seeking to confiscate a cache of recently banned assault weapons were ambushed by elements of a paramilitary extremist faction. Military and law enforcement sources estimate that 72 were killed and more than 200 injured before government forces were compelled to withdraw. Speaking after the clash, Massachusetts Governor Thomas Gage declared that the extremist faction, which was made up of local citizens, has links to the radical right-wing tax protest movement. Gage blamed the extremists for recent incidents of vandalism directed against internal revenue offices. The governor, who described the group's organizers as criminals, issued an executive order authorizing the summary arrest of any individual who has interfered with the government's efforts to secure law and order. The military raid on the extremist arsenal followed widespread refusal by the local citizenry to turn over recently outlawed assault weapons. Gage issued a ban on military-style assault weapons and ammunition earlier in the week. This decision followed a meeting in early this month between government and military leaders at which the governor authorized the forcible confiscation of illegal arms. One government official, speaking on condition of anonymity, pointed out that, quote, none of these people would have been killed had the extremists obeyed the law and turned over their weapons voluntarily. Government troops initially succeeded in confiscating a large supply of outlawed weapons and ammunition. However, troops attempting to seize arms and ammunition in Lexington met with resistance from heavily armed extremists who had been tipped off regarding the government's plans. During a tense standoff in the Lexington Town Park, National Guard Colonel Francis Smith, commander of the government operation, ordered the armed group to surrender and return to their homes. The impasse was broken by a single shot, which was reportedly fired by one of the right-wing extremists. 8 civilians were killed in the ensuing exchange. Ironically, the local citizenry blamed government forces rather than the extremists for the civilian deaths. Before order could be restored, armed citizens from surrounding areas had descended upon the guard units. Colonel Smith, finding his forces overmatched by the armed mob, ordered a retreat. Governor Gage has called upon citizens to support the State National Joint Task Force in its effort to restore law and order. The government also demanded the surrender of those responsible for planning and leading the attack against the government troops. Samuel Adams, Paul Revere, and John Hancock, who have been identified as ringleaders of the extremist faction, remain at large. And this, fellow Americans, is how the American Revolution began, April 20th, 1775. History. Study it or repeat it. I think we're getting close to repeating it. We have some of the most ridiculous and overreaching laws I have ever seen attempting to be ushered through our process. And if we continue to stand idly by and allow this shit to continue, this is what's going to happen. We're going to get to this point. Next point. The mask bullshit. Closed California versus open Florida. Who is outperforming the other? Florida has a smaller population than California, but both have similar number of cases per 100,000 residents. Now, what does that mean? California was locked down from the beginning. Remember, no businesses, no nothing. You barely leave your damn house. Florida, completely open. In the beginning, they closed a couple of things, but said, you know what? This isn't working. We're opening it all up. Now, can someone explain to me, realistically, can someone explain to me that if closing everything helps, why California isn't doing significantly better than Florida? I'll wait. If masks work and these draconian restrictions requiring 1, 2, 5 masks work, Why is Florida doing the same essentially as California, if not better? Why? Oh, wife says that where's he at? This guy here also said he isn't sure if crossing the border illegally is illegal. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And Jack wants to point out that it happens often in Michigan City as well with the tire slashes. Yes, unfortunately, stupidity is not local. It goes everywhere. If these masks work, right? If a single, double, triple, upteenth mask works, why then is California and Florida so similar with cases per 1,000? Or excuse me, per 100,000 or whatever? Hey, good question, right? Because it's bullshit. It's all bullshit, and I'm going to show you. Got a video here for you. Hold on. I got to get some. I got to get my audio set up. Give me just a moment. The masked hypocrisy of Anthony Fauci. I don't know if you guys remember the shit that he said back at the beginning, but here we go.
Surrounding face masks. Can you discuss that?
The masks are important for someone who's infected to prevent them from infecting someone else. Now, when you see people and look at the films in China and South Korea, whatever, everybody's wearing a mask. Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is.
As new and more contagious variants of the coronavirus spread around the country, people are taking extra precautions, one of which is looking at the quality of face masks and whether two is better than one.
Could wearing two masks
double masking?
Wearing two masks.
Layering two cloth masks.
Double up and wear two.
Double up.
Two masks.
Double down, as in time to start wearing a double mask.
See what I mean? One mask. Well, no, masks are not required. It's only going to make you feel better. It's not going to help. Oh, now we need two. We need two masks. One mask isn't enough anymore. We need two masks. Get the fuck out of here with that. It is so absolutely ridiculous that it defies description. I cannot understand how these people can look at themselves and not have their heads explode with the insanity that is coming out of their mouth. This is the very same person now, Fauci, who told us masks don't help. Now he says we need two or more. What? It's been this way for a while, but I don't even know what to say to the people who consistently repeat the same crap. You wear your mask for me. Why does no scientific evidence show that wearing a mask actually does anything? We've seen video after video after video of people. As a matter of fact, let me get to a couple. There's actually more to this video that I want you to see. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's a little long. But there's some more in this that I want you to see that actually from medical professionals, mind you. Here we go.
Double masks.
Some sort of a covering. We don't want to call it a mask because back then we were concerned we'd be taking masks away from the healthcare providers. But some sort of mask-like facial covering.
So if you have a physical covering with one layer, you put another layer on, it just makes common sense that it likely would be more effective. And that's the reason why you see people either double masking or doing a version of an N95.
If you do not have these symptoms, you do not have to wear masks because there is no evidence that they protect people who are not sick.
COVID-19 or larger goes through and around a surgical mask.
people that are now purporting to scientifically prove masks work are either being paid or being played. This just doesn't work this way.
You can see I have all these germs on my hand, but it's on my gloves. That's fine, right? It's on my gloves. And I reach for my phone and I have a text message from my husband. I just keep touching everything. Oh, my nose itches. Here, let me itch my nose. Okay. Now my phone's ringing. It's my mom. She needs me to get her something. Hi. Hello. Hi, Mom. What can I do for you? Oh, hi. Oh my goodness. Look at all this bacteria. So now your gloves are off. Your hands are clean. You're in your car. You're safe, right? But your phone rings again. Oh no, let me pick up my phone. Here. Oh, hello. Look, this is called cross-contamination. There's no point in wearing gloves if you're not going to wash your hands every time you touch something. There's no point, friends.
There's no point in wearing this crap unless you're going to go to the extreme with it. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that fully. If you're going to wear gloves, then you need to wash your hands as soon as you take those gloves off. So you need to put a fresh pair of gloves on. Wearing the same gloves over and over does nothing. Wearing the same mask does nothing. If you feel better, let me be very, very, very clear. If you feel better wearing a mask, then put a damn mask on. If it makes you feel better, wear the damn thing. But you have to allow people to make decisions for themselves. You have to allow people to make the decision for themselves as to what is best for them and their family's health. This whole my mask protects you and your mask protects me is bullshit. This whole vaccination thing, what is the point of a vaccine that when you get it, you still have to mask up and social distance even months after you had it? Because it's brainwashing. That's what it is. It's not actually helping you. People are stupid. It's absolutely amazing to me that people can walk around and be that dumb without losing control of severe bodily functions. Seriously, it's insane. I can't even anymore. I can't even. I've tried very, very hard to be, I guess, politically correct, for lack of a better term, and speak very carefully, not use profanity, do all of that. I'm not going to be blatantly or openly disgusting or anything, but come on with this insanity. Come on with the stupidity at this point. I do want to say for, I guess, my favorite artist at the current time, Tom McDonald, he has beat out Cardi B again in the top. And for those of you who have not had a chance to check out his music, even if you don't like rap, you should really check him out, Tom McDonald, because he talks about things that other artists are afraid to say. The things that we know are real, clown world, fake woke. Those are the things that we're all thinking. But many people, especially those in positions of so-called power, are afraid. They're afraid to open their mouths. They're afraid to say something about it because they're afraid they'll get canceled, because they're afraid people are not going to like them, whatever. I don't know. I'm over it. I'm done with trying to please and cater to idiots. It's just going to be me. It's ridiculous, and I'm not going to stand on the sidelines and pretend like any of this shit makes sense. I'm not going to pretend that locking down our economy is going to stop a virus. It's not. And if let's go down this little thought train for a moment. If locking down our economy actually did work and would stop the virus, it would require locking down everyone, essential workers, gas stations, food, everything. I don't know about you, but it's kind of hard to get groceries when everything's closed. It's kind of hard to fill your tank up because you're a so-called essential worker when the gas stations are closed. It's not feasible. It is not fucking feasible to lock down an entire country, especially a country like the United States of America, and expect that a virus is just going to stop. It's just going to hang out and wait for us It's going to go away, whatever. It's stupid. It's freaking stupid. It's time to wake up, people. It's time to wake up, and it's time to talk to these people that are supposed to be representing us in office and tell them it's very simple. You either vote for this or you're gone. A perfect example is the so-called Republicans we have in our state house. We have a Republican supermajority. As a matter of fact, we even picked up more seats, but yet we still have a governor that can vastly overreach and continue to do these executive orders and keep the economy locked down. I thought we had a Republican supermajority because they're not real Republicans. These people are as rhino as they come. Not everyone, not all of them. Trust me, there are some good people in the state house, but the majority of them can kiss my lily white ass because it's freaking ridiculous. And Liz, oh yeah, MAGA Matt says it's not that they're afraid, they signed that contract. And I think you're absolutely right. When I ran, I was told in no uncertain terms that if you don't support the governor, you're not going to win. And guess what? I told him, I said, I'm not going to support something that I don't agree with. I'm not going to come out here and say he's a piece of shit, but I'm certainly not going to back something that I do not believe in with this, the mask bullshit and the lockdowns that are killing small businesses. I'm not going to support it. Yeah, it is what it is, right? And Liz asked, what do we do with home health care workers if we lock everything down? That's a good ass question. Nothing, because it's not feasible. It is not feasible. And if we give these socialists what they want, and if we turn everything into the icon that they believe we should be, which is places like Europe, the healthcare systems that exist there, let's look at Italy. Just as for example, these people were choosing whether or not people died, whether or not to extend medical care to them. That's what you have to look forward to under a socialist regime. That's what you have to look forward to under healthcare that is run by the government, so-called single payer. They are going to decide what is best for you. They are going to pick whether or not you get the treatment you can, the treatment you deserve, because they're going to pick whether you deserve it or not. Look at what happened in Italy at the height of the pandemic. People were dying because they were withholding medical care from them. The elderly. Oh, they're going to die anyway. They're going to die anyway. So why should we waste our assets on them when we can hold them back for other people who need it? Death panels. Those are real things. They may not call them that, but that's what they are. It has to be that way under a socialist structure because they have to determine where the resources go. Look, the free market is not perfect. Hell no. And there are times when shit's expensive, like really, really expensive under a so-called free market. But it's a hell of a lot better than the alternative. You aren't wrong, Matt. You are not wrong. I'll tell you, it is absolutely mystifying to me that the people who claim to be strong, hardcore conservatives can look at themselves in the mirror the way that they're voting right now. The fact, the bill that was supposed to restrict the governor's ability to issue executive orders didn't even make it out of committee. Why? Because the support wasn't there. They actually had representatives that said, oh, I know the Holcomb. I know the governor. I trust him. I think he's a good person. It isn't about that. It isn't about whether you think this guy is a good person or a piece of dog shit. It does not matter. The point is the governor should not have the power that he has to go on for so long. Oh, Matt says the feed froze. That sucks. I was hoping that wouldn't happen. Like I said at the beginning, I don't think the Wi-Fi connection is super stable. I have to I'm going to have to hardwire it. I got some cable on the way. I just ordered it. It's supposed to be here. Let's see here. I think it said by Wednesday. So we'll say by Friday, I should have a strong, stable, hardwired connection. We're just going to do that. That way we skip all the BS from now on, and we can have a good, solid connection. Hey, Paula, and you know what? I couldn't do it any other way. I was asked, if you had to vote for something that meant that you would lose election, but voting for this thing was the best thing for your community, would you do it? I didn't run to get elected. Let me be clear. I mean, I ran to get elected, but I didn't run because I really, really want this job. I ran because I'm tired of being represented by fucking idiots. I'm tired of being represented by people who do not represent me. I'm tired of people going to the State House and saying inane bullshit on the floor that does not reflect the community they come from. My representative, holy cow, could not less represent me. It's that simple. That's why I ran, because I believe that all of us, from the state level all the way to Congress and president, need people to represent us who understand what it's like to be us. That's why I ran. And if that means me being me causes me to lose the election, then so be it. It is what it is. It doesn't affect me. It's not going to stop me. I'm not going to be any different because I lost versus winning. I'm going to be the same person no matter what. So in 2022, when I run again, probably not 100%, but probably, it's going to be the same way. I'm going to be the same person that I am right here and now, and I'll be the same person in Indianapolis, assuming I win, or Washington, D.C., or whatever I frickin' run for. I don't know. If I win, I'll be the same person here that I am there. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm not gonna have too many of these straight up sessions, but let's see, there was one more thing that I wanted to show you. I thought, let me see if I can find it. Boop, boop, boop. No, maybe not. Hopefully the feed hangs out, and like I said, I got a thing ordered, so we'll I want to show you this real quick. Check out my there. That's my desktop. I downloaded it's called Wallpaper Maker, and there were all kinds of cool wallpapers on there. This is one of them. I can't show you my other one right now. Oh, Jack says the launch aborted. Don't know why. Oh man, really wanted to see that too. So thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. Listen, I'm probably gonna run for state rep, but we'll see. I don't know. There's talk of county level, because we desperately need somebody to run for county commissioner to replace one of the people that are on that, because holy crap, that's a whole other thing. Allegedly, there are some people that are being talked to run for it. We'll see what happens. We also have a election, I guess, coming up this coming Saturday for the LaPorte County Republican Party. There are some new people that will be running for leadership in the party. I am not one of them. I have no interest in doing that. Honestly, I want to be as involved as little as possible with the actual party, just because I really don't think they're doing much. That's a whole other thing, though. We'll do a whole video on that. Let's see what happens first. But thanks for joining me. I'll talk to all of you soon. God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the United States of America. Keep your head up. The best is yet to come.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers Sean Holgram and Michael Beatty. Copyright 2021. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.